Hi, I'm Chris Martin, here in the sawmill to talk to you today about our partnership with the Rainforest Alliance. So I worked here in the sawmill when I was younger, in between stints at high school and then college. And back then, right over there, we had a big Brenta bandsaw that we bought from Belgium. And the reason we bought it was to cut to our specifications Indian rosewood. Well, shortly after we bought that sawmill and saw and hired Bill Hall, who just recently retired after a long, illustrious career with Martin Guitars, the Indian government said, well, we want to generate more revenue in the processing of this valuable resource that we are selling to you to make guitars. And we said, okay, and so we had to go and teach them how to cut wood for Martin Guitars. But I really appreciated the time I spent down here because this is the beginning. This is the point at which we take the raw materials and begin their transformation into a Martin guitar. And even back then, I had an appreciation from the training that I was given about how valuable the woods that we use are and how resourceful we were in trying to utilize as much of the wood as possible. So fast forward now 35 years, and lo and behold, these rare exotic timbers that we use have become even more rare and more exotic. And along the way, I thought to myself, is there more we can do to take care of these woods that we've used for a long time to make great Martin guitars? So I don't remember when, but it was quite a few years ago. What I'll term a radical environmental group approached us with a radical proposition, and it caught us off guard. They said that we know that you've been in business a long time. We appreciate the quality of your product. We appreciate the power of your brand. And we would like you, Martin Guitars, to make a commitment. And we said, well, what kind of commitment would you like us to make? And they said, we would like you to commit that within a very short period of time, I forget whether it was 3, 4, or 5 years, but in terms of a company that's been around for over 180 years, it was a relatively short time. They said, we want you to sign a document that commits you to using, by the end of this term, all sustainable wood. And we said, well, that's a great goal. And it's a goal that we should all aspire to. Do you, the environmental group that has approached us, do you know where we can get that wood? And they said, no, that's not our job. And we said, well, we've been looking into this, and so far, it's turning out to be extremely difficult to find certified exotic timber to use to make Martin guitars. And they said, well, you need to work harder. And we said, yeah, we do, but we can't sign that document because we don't think that that goal is realistic. But it got us thinking about what more can we do? And we did some investigation, and it turns out that there are bodies that certify wood, third-party bodies, some of which actually came out of the wood industry. And we thought, well, is that a little self-serving that the industry created its own standards and sort of, it's like the fox guarding the hen house. We said, that doesn't seem appropriate. It may work fine. And I can't tell you how. One of my colleagues probably remembers better than I do how we got hooked up with the Forest Stewardship Network. And that's the organization that helps companies like Martin Guitar to find wood that was harvested sustainably. And that's the connection we have with the Rainforest Alliance. We worked very hard with them. They have very high standards. And in fact, at one point, their standards were so high, once again, we had to say, we can't jump over that hurdle. And they said, what do you mean? We said, well, you've made it so restrictive in terms of being able to get your certification that we can't comply. And they said, oh, that's a shame because you were a great example of an organization that embraced our standards. We said, yeah, we were, and then you changed your standards. So we negotiated with them over a period of time. We actually walked away for a while and said, rather than be out of compliance or rather than do it wrong, we're just going to back off. And we continued to talk, and they took some of what we said was an issue back to the powers that be at the Rainforest Alliance, and they said, okay, well, obviously, we've made this too restrictive, and we're losing our customers. And so we found a place in the middle where we said, yes, we can do that, and they said, if you do that, we will certify you. And in fact, just a week or two ago, the auditors were here. They come in annually, and if you look around, if you come and take a tour, if you take the behind-the-scenes tour, you actually get to come down here, and if you look around, anywhere you see a purple document, that indicates that that wood has certification. So what we have to do here in the plant is we have to follow that wood throughout the process, and we have to document its location from raw lumber to finished guitar, so that when the auditors come in and they do random sample checks, no matter where they go, they can say, okay, we can certainly see that that lumber has the certification, and they can check the documentation and look at the backstory and say, okay, we appreciate that you've got all the appropriate paperwork. But once we get into the plant now, we've got parts and pieces that are moving. They also all have that documentation. It's cumbersome, it's tedious, it's expensive. And that may be one of the reasons that not a lot of guitar makers do this. I think it's important. I've got an 11-year-old daughter. And I've joked about this, but I don't want her someday to go to a NAMM show wearing a t-shirt that said, my daddy cut down the last tree. I mean, my dad didn't do it, his dad didn't do it. All the way back for generations of Martins, we always tried to take really good care of the wood that we use because we know how valuable it is. And I'm going to turn this over to my colleagues who are going to give you a lot more detail about how important and involved our relationship with the Forest Stewardship Council and the Rainforest Alliance is.
So Rainforest Alliance has been around. We're actually celebrating our 30th year in 2017 as an organization. And our mission is to work with businesses, companies around the world to improve sustainability at the field level in farms, forests, and actually tourism operations. We've been doing that work all over the world in probably about 60 countries. And we are focused on three main things: improving field level practices in farms and forests, helping companies with their policies and procedures for buying, sourcing products, and thirdly, doing consumer education. So we do a lot of outreach, social media in cooperation with companies, but also with other nonprofit organizations. Rainforest Alliance has been working with Martin for about a little over 15 years, and that journey has been about basically helping Martin to procure, source sustainable woods around the world. That work's taken us to Central and South America and other places. It also includes woods that come from North America as well. And one of the things that we've been able to do is work with Martin to get the word out. So for example, right now one of the things we're doing with Martin is a Follow the Frog campaign, and that's just started. So it's great to have Martin on board with doing that, which is to get the message out there so that both people in companies like Martin and others understand where the wood comes from and what they can do as a company to purchase good woods that you and I can all feel comfortable with, that they're not just going to be here now, but they're going to be here for the next generation. So there are a lot of different ways of getting involved in this whole effort on sustainability and wood products and musical instruments. One of them is that on our website, actually at rainforestalliance.org, there's something called Shop the Frog. So you can get there, look at some of the products that are on there and go out and buy them and support the companies that we work with. The second is you can visit our website and just look at the stories. So one of the things that we're trying to do is give people a sense of what it's like at the field level to manage forests and what it means at communities, not only in terms of the work in the woods, but also with the different mills and the different processing operations that are out there. And then the third thing, of course, is just follow us on social media. friend us on Facebook or some of the other social media that are out there. Our team works really hard at trying to get the word out. And one of the positive things we can say is that we've been able to, working with Martin, been able to try to get the story out. And we're going to be doing more work all the time to try to do that better, to show how the forests of the world can be better managed, and also how companies like Martin, which is a real leader in this space, can move forward in their actions to do sustainable sourcing around the world. The vision that we've developed working with Martin and other companies is that people are not the problem, they're part of the solution. So what we've tried to do is find ways in which people and forests and the environment can thrive or prosper together around the globe in all the places that we work, whether it's tropical forests or temperate forests. Rainforest Alliance and Martin Guitars both participate in something called the Forest Stewardship Council. The FSC is basically a system that ensures the rigor of the work that is done in certification and makes sure that there's a high bar for how social and environmental performance is audited around the world, including the suppliers of Martin Guitars.
Hello, my name is Cindy McAllister, and in January 2017, I will be celebrating my 30-year anniversary with Martin Guitar. I currently serve as Martin's Director of Community Relations, and I'm also Martin's FSC Coordinator. For many decades, Martin has been concerned about its impact on the environment, and we are very proud to be a leader in responsible wood sourcing. In May 2014, Martin was recognized by the Rainforest Alliance with the Sustainable Standard Setter Award. This award is given to industry champions who make sustainability a priority, but whose business practices make sustainability a reality. Martin was given this award for its long-standing responsible wood sourcing and for its strict adherence to the FSC standard.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I am a social media marketing manager here at Martin Guitar. Martin Guitar teamed up with Martin Ambassador James Valentine of Maroon 5 to follow the frog beyond the Martin Guitar factory and into the mainstream music world. Phase 1 of Martin Guitar's Follow the Frog campaign will chronicle the journey of an FSC certified guitar designed by Martin Ambassador James Valentine and built by the Martin Custom Shop. From conception to the final stages, Martin Guitar's social media community will have a first row seat to the production of this guitar. Phase 2 of Martin Guitar's Follow the Frog campaign will begin in January of 2017. James Valentine will hit the road with his FSC certified custom Martin guitar and continue to bring awareness to this important cause. Through Martin Guitar's partnership with the Rainforest Alliance and James Valentine, Martin Guitar is continuing to raise awareness and expand the hard work the Rainforest Alliance has done to save our forests. You can follow the journey of James Valentine's FSC certified custom Martin guitar by using the hashtag #FollowTheFrog and following Martin Guitar on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Flickr.